therefore, we don't have much time and we have to keep this session very, very short to make sure that the minister is not going to wait too much longer for the closing ceremony. So to be very effective with time, we will now hand the floor to the chair. Thank you.
Vietnam.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome in the session of Bali Commitment on equal access to election. So we will sharing experience and follow up the action of the Bali Commitment 2012. So remembering the Bali Commitment that adopted in November 2012. So I will just remembering you that we reaffirm the right of principle proclaimed in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, International Convention, Civil and Political Rights, and UN CRPD. And the second point is we demand the right to participate in the free, fair, and accessible election and vote by secret ballot. And the last point, we each resolve to eliminate all forms of discrimination toward the full and equal political participation of people with disabilities to enjoy and to exercise the inclusive election cycle. So we just have the very constrained time. I will invite DPOs from ASEAN countries to share their experience in implementation of the Bali Commitment. Through the picture presentation. So the first, I will invite Mr. Swart from Cambodia. So the time is only 5 minutes.
Okay, would you mind go to my slide very quickly then? Okay. Let go to my slide that I shared to you and then okay, so here my slide going to be present you about how agenda support political right of Cambodian people with disease through CDPO. Let's continue, please. And here's the point number one: we secure the national identification card. That we got a meeting with the Ministry of Health in order to lobby for the card for community card for people with disability. And we coordinate national identification for poor card for persons with disability in the community. Continue, please. And point number two, we equal recognition in the election. We conduct the workshop and the public forum to raise awareness. Electoral process for include the registration and verify the name of DPO and person with disability in the community. Continue, please. And we got sign language with TV and sport and participation of person with disability in election process. And we also provide training disability right, advocacy, democracy to our DPO leader in point 3 to receive civic voter education. And then you can see the card that we got braille ballot for person with disability during last election. Okay, continue, please. Point 4, we provide reasonable accommodations such as assistant voting that other person could go to assist old people or person with disability during the election. Continue, please. And point number 5, access to infrastructure and building for layout that allow the easy measure by those who use uncertified device. We also join national plan of action of person with disability, and in the strategic 10 that person with disability could become the parliamentarian, that we promote people with disability to become parliamentarian, and we promote wheelchair user to access for person with disability. Continue, please. We don't have point number 6 because we found out our government is not yet doing the job yet. We go to point number 7, meeting with National Election Committee, and we brought our group to meet with the chair of NEC, National Election Committee, and we faced with a big barrier that person with disability could not go to the get access, and we do a very big campaign with press media, and there's a lot of news in the newspaper about the movement of person with disability in the mass media. Continue, please. And we encourage women with disability as the election observer. We last election 2012, 2013 we got 420 people with disability become the election observer. Continue, please. That's all for me. 3 minutes. Okay, thank you so much.
So very fast. Okay, and then thank you for Mr. Fuad. And then the second presentation, we will invite Mrs. Hong Ha, sorry, from the Vietnam.
Please, the presentation for Vietnam, please. Our presentation is only pictures. The first pictures is about our organization, Hanoi Independent Living. This is where people with severe disabilities have support to be independent and to participate in own activities. And this is the first time that they can organize the outdoor activities themselves. Next, please. And this is a picture of the project that Hanoi Independent Living Center has done with the agenda last year. And this is our template booth, polling booth, and template accessibility to the local government to organize a general election. And we are doing that by role playing. We ask the volunteers and the students and our workers to act as people with at the the commissioners, election commissioners, and some of our people with disabilities plays the role of the people of the voter who come to the polling stations, and commissioners can know the difficulties of people with severe disabilities. And in Vietnam, this is the first time that the commissioners at the election authorities know about the needs of people with disabilities. They all thought that bringing the ballot box to their homes is the best way. And they didn't know that people with disabilities didn't want that at all. They wanted to come to the polling stations and put the ballot into the box themselves. So this is the first time that they know that through the agenda project that Hanoi Independent Living Center has done. Next, please. And this is the first time that an organization of people with disabilities can meet the city government, the leader of the city government. They say in Vietnam, meeting the city government is much more difficult than meeting the prime minister of the country. So, but we could do that, and we meet them and we report to them about our project and about the needs of accessibility to elections. And they was very surprised that the people with disabilities want to go to the polling stations. And this is the first time we have the promotion from the city government to do that and continue to be to access to general election and to stand for election. And well, when we came to the building, we had difficulties in access that, but as a lot of DPOs in Vietnam have suggested the accessibility, so we at last could access the building and can get to the meeting room and meet the very high position person in the city. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And then no question. And then the third presentation will be delivered by Mr. Nailin So from Myanmar. So time.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay. My name is Nailin So. I'm also one of the participants who attended in Bali workshop, which produced a Bali Commitment, equal access to election. So I'm also going to make a brief presentation within short period. Out of 8 commitments in Bali document, my organization, MILI especially, has been implementing commitment number 2, equal recognition in election law and policies. Okay, next slide, please. So this is a very brief information for you, but I'm not going to explain in detail. And second slide, please. My organization, MILI, especially working for advocacy, has been advocated to Union Election Commission at national level and also actively involved in developing strategic plan 2014 to 2018, which is already mainstream disability into the strategic plan. This is activity photos related to that movement. Okay, next slide, please. And also, we advocate to the National Parliament to make a disability inclusive election laws. And also, this is some of the activities photo during while we advocated to the Parliament members. And second, next slide, please. On the other hand, my organization facilitated and invited other 17 disabled people organizations, also self-help groups of persons with disabilities in 2014. And then we review and analyze together the election regulations and procedures. And then finally, we make the recommendations and submit to the Union Election Commission. Next, please. This is other activities engaged in Union Election Commission and election activities, together with the disability organizations and also engaging in UEC activities and workshops, also civil society organization as well. Next, please. Also, we actively participated in UEC voter list registration national pilot project in 2014. It was the first experience for us to engage in voter registration process. Also, we of course will continue to improve these activities in collaboration with the Union Election Commissions in future. Next, please. Also, we have a radio program. We broadcast the radio program regularly every week. Also, education about the disability inclusive election is also one of the program in the broadcasting agenda. It's also stay continuing regularly. Okay, next, please. Also, we have exposure visits to the Philippines and also Indonesia as well to learn about the disability inclusive election. Okay, that's all what we have done with the Bali Commitment. Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Mr. Nailin So. And then the fourth presentation will be from Mrs. Josephine from Campi, Philippines. Yes. From Philippines.
Hello, good afternoon to all. Yes. This is our commitment to Bali Declaration. Okay, next slide, please. Here's a training on basic sign language for the frontliners. It's for our policemen, our post officer, and security officer. And then for all those frontliners desk and our police desk. Next, please. This is a food processing for women with disabilities during the Women with Disability Day celebration, because every last Monday of March, we are celebrating a Women with Disability Day. They have the food processing on baking. Next, please. And we are also ongoing, we are having our PWD reorganization at the barangay level or at the village. And we have some donors or sponsors for the different devices like wheelchairs. There you go. And then we also conducted a wheelchair assessment, not only for PWDs, but for all our partner agencies. And then there is we also conducted a hearing aid assessment. This is sponsored by our very own mayor in our city. Then next. If you can see there up, this is the first PWD summit wherein we talk about the issues and concerns for the persons with disabilities. We have invited our different stakeholders for them to present and answer the issues and concerns of the persons with disabilities. This is during the National Disability Prevention and Rehabilitation Week, because yearly we are celebrating this National Disability Prevention and Rehabilitation Week every July 17 to 23 yearly. Next, please. And this is a day for PWDs. Quarterly, we are having a day for persons with disabilities, meaning to say we are having this day. It's like a consultation, an open forum for us and for our legislators to know the issues and concerns for persons with disabilities. Yes, next. And that the children with disabilities having also their fun, they are dancing, and we also conducted an inclusive development, capacity inclusive development for internal displaced people with disabilities through armed conflict and calamities. This was held in Maguindanao. And for the last picture, we are having our sports fest for persons with disabilities. If you can see that, they are all blind, playing the volleyball, and we call it roll ball. That is a volleyball for blind. And the last one, that is our national PWD ID cards, wherein this is under the Republic Act 9442 or an amendment of the Magna Carta for persons with disabilities, granting additional incentives and incentives for persons with disabilities and privileges. And that card is, our privilege is a 20% discount for transportation, medicines, and another 5% discount per prime and basic commodities. Okay, thank you very much and good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Josephine. And then we come with the last presentation. Yeah, this is the last but not the least. Presentation from Indonesia by Mrs. Justicia from the PPDI.
Okay, thank you, Bahrul. I'm from PPDI. I will be presenting our Bali implementation on Bali Commitment. And maybe I will start with a little bit explanation about what is PPDI. PPDI is Indonesia's Association of Persons with Disabilities, and I'm there as a board member and also as a secretary. And as an umbrella organization of persons with disabilities in Indonesia, PPDI works closely with the government to improve the rights of persons with disabilities in all aspects of their life. And we are founded on 1987. So we have now 31 branches in 31 provinces all over Indonesia. And since 2012, PPDI works in collaboration with IFS and GPPR for Agenda program, which focuses on political rights for persons with disabilities, especially in election. And as it was mentioned before, that on November 2012, in Agenda, we've launched the Bali Commitment. And I just want to show you how the Bali Commitment is implemented so far. And the example is from the presidential election 2014, last year, in which we've been monitoring 5 provinces and 30 sub-provinces with 470 polling stations. So next slide, please. Here we see the implementation of commitment number 4, which we see that almost in all polling stations, not all, but it's improving now. The ballot boxes is placed, accessible, so for wheelchair user, so they can insert the ballot paper themselves. And also we already have the Braille template in the polling station. And the location of the polling station is also improving now, because now we see that many of them are places in the smooth surfaces. And also, what I saw in my monitoring, not only the physical barriers are improving, but also the socio-cultural barriers also improving. I mean, the poll workers are now more understand about how to interact with persons with disabilities when they come to the polling station, and I mean how to interact with the visually impaired or hearing impaired, and it was done through our advocacy and also through the EMB's also support. And next picture is we see that the implementation of commitment number 8, where stated that persons with disabilities also serves in leadership role, and we see that persons with disabilities also can monitor the election and also can serve as observers. That's my short presentation. Thank you for your attention.
So applause for the presenter. Thank you, Ms. Justicia. And then, ladies and gentlemen, come up with the Jakarta Addendum. Comment? I suppose that the participant has already read the Jakarta Addendum during the lunch time. So here I will show you in the presentation about the Jakarta Addendum, and I will ask you to give a comment on the a piece of paper that you have and submit to the committee. And then the committee will consolidate your comment on the Jakarta Addendum. And after that, please sign in the agenda board commitment that already provided in the front of this conference. And before the signing this commitment, I will read for you. It's very brief. So agenda, we participants at the agenda 3rd Regional Dialogue on Access to the Election for persons with disabilities, recommit ourselves to upholding Bali Commitment on equal access to election. Persons with disabilities have the right to participate in political process and equal basis as other citizens. And we also have aspiration from the Indonesian Disabilities Organization. So let's give time to Indonesian Disabled People Organization to raise their aspiration in this conference. No. I just.
Terima kasih kesempatannya. Saya sampaikan dalam bahasa Indonesia. Pertama kali pertama-tama apresiasi dan tingginya apresiasi terhadap agenda yang telah menyelenggarakan regional dialog yang ketiga ini. Selama berpartisipasi dalam 2 hari ini dan tahun-tahun sebelumnya, kami melihat bahwa di sini ada benang merah, yaitu persoalan aksesibilitas. Baik itu aksesibilitas infrastruktur, termasuk komunikasi dan informasi. Oleh karena itu, kami kira perlu adanya gerakan yang masif dan seharian kemarin beberapa dari kami mendiskusikan tentang bagaimana kita bisa mendukung terhadap Bali Commitment dan juga mendukung terhadap mendorong perubahan. Oleh karena itu kami mengusulkan sebuah gerakan masif yang dinamakan Jadikan Indonesia Aksesibel. Gerakan ini saya pikir sangat inline dengan Bali Commitment dan mohon untuk kepada para peserta menandatangani gerakan yang akan dilakukan secara masif di seluruh wilayah Indonesia dan juga akan disebarluaskan melalui media sosial. Terakhir, kami juga sangat apresiasi kepada peserta internasional yang telah hadir di sini karena keberadaan teman-teman dari internasional yang disabilitas itu sangat penting dan merupakan wujud untuk mendorong terjadinya perubahan di Indonesia.
Ya, 5 minutes ya.
Ya, terima kasih.
So, thank you, Miss Cucu from Indonesia. So, yeah, and then now please to participant to give a comment on the Jakarta Addendum, and then also after that sign the.
I will maybe I can add something. The panel will read the Jakarta Addendum like you have. You all have the Jakarta Addendum, yes? Okay. So we will read it by paragraph. Yeah. Okay. And then, if someone has any comments or some objection, please raise your hand so we can make it perfect, yeah? The paragraph, yeah? Yes. Or, to make it short, you can write in a piece of paper and just give to the panel. So we are reading the first paragraph. Jakarta Addendum to address overlapping forms of marginalization. The participants in the General Election Network for Disability Access Agenda 3rd Regional Dialogue held in Jakarta, Indonesia on January 28-29, 2015 reaffirmed their pledge to implement the 2012 Bali Commitment on Equal Access to Election and adopted the Jakarta Addendum to address overlapping forms of marginalization. This paragraph is okay. No objection, no comments. Okay, I will continue. We, members of election management bodies, disabled or people's organization, civil society organization, academics, and representatives from government institutions, recognize that persons with disabilities are frequently excluded from the political lives of their countries and commit to take steps to make the electoral process more inclusive, equal, and accessible. Is there any comments on this paragraph? We further acknowledge that persons with disabilities represent various ethnic, religious, socio-economic, age, and gender groups. Often, the combination of multiple identities can lead to double or triple marginalization. The political participation of women in particular is hindered by a variety of institutional, social, and cultural obstacles that are often compounded by disability. Evidence suggests that a majority of 280 million young people with disabilities in developing countries live in poverty and have low literacy skills, so they are left out of civic participation initiatives. Voter education initiatives are often not conducted in accessible formats and are even less likely to be produced in accessible formats in indigenous languages. People with disabilities from indigenous groups often encounter challenges in obtaining the citizenship documents required in order to register to vote. Is there any comment to this paragraph? Please.
I just suggest to the beginning of the sentence, we further acknowledge that diverse person with disability. Just add up the word diverse.
Just add?
Just add the word diverse person with disability, so no one exclude from the process.
I don't know. I don't understand.
I suggest we further acknowledge that diverse person with disability. Add the word diverse.
Oh, diverse. Okay. So there is an input from the CDPO. We in the first, we just add the diverse word, diverse person with disabilities. Okay. Any more input or comments? Okay, I will continue. We reiterate our commitment to increasing access to the political process for persons with disabilities with a renewed focus on enforcing the rights of people with disabilities who are also from marginalized groups, including women, youth, and indigenous people, ethnic and religious minorities, LGBT, and older people. The fulfillment of these rights is in line with the principles proclaimed in international standards such as UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, and the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, in addition to regional instruments such as Incheon Strategy to make the right real for persons with disabilities in Asia and the Pacific. Is there any comments, or maybe someone wants to add something to this paragraph? Shall I continue? Okay, continue? Jesse? Okay. We each resolve to work to eliminate, We each resolve to work to eliminate all forms of discrimination towards persons with disabilities who also identify with another marginalized group. We will work together to ensure that unique barriers encountered by people with disabilities who also identify with another marginalized group are identified and strategies to remove these barriers are developed. Any comments? Next. Disability rights are mainstreamed in existing gender, youth, and other civil society organizations. Any comments? None. Women with disabilities and people with disabilities from indigenous and other minority groups are represented in decision-making bodies and political process at all levels. Any comments from you guys?
Could I raise the point number 2 about the disability right mainstream to existing gender, youth, and other civil society organizations, especially in Asian community? Because we found out in Asian community now, disability mainstreaming very less. So I really urge that, especially in Asian community. Yeah, and Asian community.
What? And community? Civil society organizations and community. Okay. So there is input for the second. Yes. No. Youth and other civil society organization and community. And ASEAN community. Especially in ASEAN community. Especially in ASEAN community. Okay. Any input? More input or comments?
And the government.
Government. So organization, especially in ASEAN community and government. That?
Yeah.
That's the input, okay? Do we agree on this? Any more comment or input? We have such a restricted time, so please pay more attention.
Yes.
We can make the signing maybe later.
Yes, later.
Yes, please, because we have to concentrate in this process. Excuse me? Signing later, please, because we have to agree on this Jakarta addendum. Please, signing later. Okay, so we can have full concentration on this addendum. So I will repeat once again. Disability rights are mainstreamed in existing gender, youth, and other civil society organizations, especially in ASEAN community and governments. Agreed? Okay, next. Third, I have already read it, yeah? The third bullet point. Women with disabilities and people with disabilities from indigenous and other minority groups are represented in decision-making bodies and political process at all levels. Agreed? From the floor, maybe? Any inputs? Okay. Next, the post-2015 Global Development Framework includes provision to strengthen the political rights and participation in public life of these marginalized groups.
I suggest to add through ICHA. Through ICHA. Yeah.
Through ICHAR. There's an input. Marginalized groups through ICHAR. Yes, the last bullet points. So what will the sentence be? The participation in public life of this marginalized group through ICHAR.
Yes.
ICHAR.
Yes.
Through ICHAR, ASEAN International Commission, Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights. Okay, please. Included?
Sorry. I would suggest including through ICHAR so that other other regional bodies, other regional structures can also promote this.
Okay.
So including through ICHA would be.
Including through ICHA. Okay. Is it agreed?
Yes.
Yes? Next. Last paragraph. We will share experiences and outcomes of this conference with our governments, disabled persons organizations, civil society, the media, academia, and other stakeholders when we return to our countries. We confirm our desire to continue to collaborate and share best practices and lessons learned with each other.
Any comment from the participant? Okay. So there is one comment.
No comment. Okay.
No,
No,
there is
okay.
one
I
comment.
had a comment
Sorry, I
on
cannot
that.
see that.
This paragraph, as we coming back to each respective countries, and every one of us must still respect the local organization. So it is a must that there, at the end of the sentence, through the local disability organization.
Okay.
Because this is the international issue, regional issue, but if you come back, you must, go through the local organization, disabled people.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So no more comment for this. And then thank you for your attention and comment. If you still have a comment, please, I invite you to write in a piece of paper and then submit to the committee for this. And then I invite you to sign the board commitment. Yeah. And then thank you for your attention, and we see you again and close this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our chairs, Mr. Bahrul Fuad and Ms. Josephine De Vera, as well as to Mr. Ngin Saurat, Ms. Nguyen Hong Ha, Mr. Nai Lin Su, as well as to Ms. Justitia Arif. Please return to your seats. Thank you so much.